Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a special meeting of the Dearborn Heights City Council. It is July 21st, 2021. Madam Clerk, can you please take roll call?
Dave Abdallah.
Here.
Zuhair Abdahak.
Here.
Mo Beydoun.
Here.
Robert Constant. Absent. Denise Malinowski Maxwell.
Here.
Ray Muscat.
Here.
Tom Wenzel is absent. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Now we have public hearing and comment on agenda items. You have 2 minutes, and you come up to the podium. At this time, I see no one coming to the podium. Let's move on.
Madam Chair, you have to agenda approval.
This agenda approved. Madam Chair.
Oh, okay. Next is the agenda approval. I'm sorry, when I cross that out. Agenda approval.
Thank you, Dana.
Council Chair,
Councilman Muscat?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda for the special meeting of July 21st, 2021 as submitted.
Support.
Support by Councilman Beydoun. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we do have public hearing and comment on agenda items. You have a 2-minute limit. This time, I see no one going up to the podium. We will move on. Next is consideration of bids. This is the Grant and Budget Compliance Director Jamal bid award for demolition contract for FEMA MSP Home Acquisition and Demolition Program.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Abdallah?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council award the bid for the demolition contract for FEMA/MSP Home Acquisition and Demolition Program for the 4 FEMA homes located at 24127, 24077, 24111, and 24339 Courier Street to Vin-Con Inc. in the amount of $45,589.00. In addition, authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign a contract on behalf of the city and authorize the comptroller's office to return all bid bonds to the unsuccessful bidders as outlined in item 7A. Support.
Support by Councilman Beydoun. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have Grant and Budget Compliance Director Jamal bid award for demolition oversight and administration contract.
Council Chair,
Councilman Muscat.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council award the bid for the demolition oversight and administration contract for the 4 FEMA homes located at 24127, 24077, 24111, and 24339 Courier Street to Environmental Testing and Consulting Incorporated, ETC, in the amount of $4,600. In addition, authorize the mayor and the clerk to sign a contract on behalf of the city as outlined in 7B.
Support.
Support by Councilman Beydoun. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have comments from council members. You have a limit of 3 minutes.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Beydoun?
my question is to the administration. Can we get a follow-up regarding the waste? I know we just approved the $300,000. I'd like to know what we have, what we've done. I'm still getting phone calls. As of today, I know some were picked up, but there's still a lot of debris out there. So I just want to get a follow-up. And then will we also be getting any street sweeps throughout the neighborhood, because the neighborhoods are extremely dirty? To the mayor's office.
Council Chair.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Okay, so right now we had 2 companies going through the city and clearing the streets, and we actually right now we're almost at the budget that you guys allotted at the last council meeting, the 300. We had a lot of residents that had a lot of flood items that didn't get to it the first wave, so they put a lot of items now on the sidewalk. So we, myself and my emergency manager, Lee Gavin, we went to the city the last few days. We had a couple, some of our police officers and also our ordinance been reporting on how much trash is on the street. We still have a lot, so I'm hoping that we can up the amount of money that we can allot it more than the 300, since we're right now, we we're at close to 300 with the two companies that were doing a trash pickup. And also we had GFL. The first 2 weeks, they were picking up debris. So we keep getting more debris put on the sidewalk. And we have a company that's going to go to the city this Saturday, but again, we can't do anything till we have more money allotted by the council to pick up the more debris on the sidewalks. We're getting a lot of complaints from the administration. We got calls to DPW. They're calling my office. So we have our emergency managers answering calls, myself, Stephanie's answering calls, my chief of staff is answering calls from residents with a lot of trash. It's pretty disgusting. I went on the road a few times and I can smell it. So residents, yeah, we do have to clean it, but I need more money allotted by the council. And again, you know, if we get the money, I'm planning on having a company go through the city on Saturday and clearing everything once for all.
So I have one last question for you, if that's okay, Madam Chair.
Sure, go ahead.
So for example, today my neighbor who lives on the corner of Amboy and Terrell, older senior citizen lady, she's had her debris out there since the beginning of the flood. We're talking in June. I knocked on her door and I said, is this new, like what's going on here? And she said, nobody's picked it up. Had I not called and said this garbage needs to be picked up, nobody was picking it up. Can we get maybe ordinance to drive around and throughout the entire city, which I know can be done in one day, but drive the entire city, take down addresses and say, hey, this is the remaining amount of addresses that we have that still need to be picked up? Because this senior citizen said, who do I call? I don't.
They've been doing it.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. We had our police and also ordinance go to the city. We asked them to report to us of the stuff, and they've been calling dispatch. So we do have a list, and I'm planning on having everything cleared Saturday. But again, I need more money for this. And again, you know, when FEMA, obviously they declared it as a national disaster. So we're tallying up everything that we spend on this cleanup, and we got to get the money back. I'm not sure how much money we're going to get, but they've been asking for feedback from the emergency manager of how much money we spend. So even though we get the money spent right now, you know, we're going to submit to reimburse the city of everything that we spend. It could be on, you know, hours that we spend to work on the flood, to clear the flood debris, anything flood related.
Council Chair?
Councilman Muscat.
Is it possible that I ask the clerk a question on how we can go about, if we could do it today, to release more money to pick up the trash? How do we go about doing it? Like we did the last time, we have to suspend?
Yes,
And then,
as long as you're all in agreement to do that,
okay, so,
Suspend.
because it's a special meeting, but I believe, I
You
don't
can
have it
only
in
go what
front
was
of
on the
me.
agenda for a special meeting. Remember, we did check into that?
yeah, that's the, you know, we had done that once before, we tried to do that once before, and I believe Corporation Council said we couldn't do it.
Right,
So
I
that's why I
remember
was
that.
asking the
I
clerk.
could go run back there and get the,
Yeah, if you
special
don't
meetings. Let me
mind.
go do that.
So we, at least,
Well-
if we have an opportunity
Or-
to release money.
Or can we do it, but, well,
Madam
we're
Chair.
going to probably approve it anyways. I would just go ahead and do it. I don't know what else to say.
Rescind our.
This is a special meeting. We can't do it at this meeting.
Madam Chair,
Councilman,
forgive me
Go
to
ahead.
interfere. Did we go through the 300,000 already?
Yeah, we're at 300,000 right now. Like I said, we had 3 companies clearing trash already. So we have.
Did you notice, Mayor, that there are some garbage and things has nothing to do whatsoever with the flood out there?
We actually had
And
ordinance.
some homes?
Yes, Councilman, we actually had ordinance. Right now, we had 2-3 reports that this happened. The 3 that we went visit, the ordinance actually went check, they were flood items, but last few days ago, actually, they checked, they were not flood items, and they were instructed to get their own dumpster and get it out, otherwise they will get a ticket or citation.
You made a joke the other day at the meeting that somebody put a chandelier out.
Yeah.
And there is chandelier sitting on John Daly, if you guys like to drive and see it. Sitting
Right,
in
yeah.
I've
front
been
of-
sitting in the water, though, on the floor.
a chandelier on the
And-
floor.
Chandelier doesn't sit on the floor.
It usually sits in the ceiling.
But all I want is our resident, please, to cooperate with us so they don't have to throw everything they don't need in their garages or basements outside, because this costs the city money, and this delays cleaning really the places which are needed before anybody else. So I appreciate it from the residents if they do cooperate with the city. And we will clean it up as soon as possible. And Mayor, how much money you thinking you need?
If we can get another, 300 just to be on the safe side, so I can make sure that everything gets done by this Saturday. Again, a lot of people like, Councilman Baidoun mentioned, the senior citizens, they haven't gotten to removing everything, all the debris from their basements. We have two entities helping residents, senior citizens and disabled to get stuff off their basement. So with that, it's going to be continuous. We're not going to be able to clear everything Saturday. People are, like today, there's like about 15 residents actually took their stuff out at the last 2 days. Even though their neighborhood was cleared, it was reported today that there was more trash on the same streets we already cleared. So
Mayor, I'm one city council member. I'm willing to give any amount of money to clean the city, but we like to hear from the clerk if we can do it tonight.
We have Hassam Jamal.
My name is Hassan Jamal. The mayor is authorized by the charter to spend any money if there is an emergency situation. So you are, go ahead, mayor, and spend.
Excuse me,
Hassan,
I have the charter
Hassan, would
here,
you please
Hassan.
come to the podium, please?
Okay, go ahead, Madam Clerk. What's the?
Okay, section 6.6 notice of the charter, notice of business to be transacted at a special meeting. No business shall be transacted at any special meeting of the council unless the same has been stated in the notice of such meeting. However, if all the members of the council are present at any special meeting of the council, then any business which might lawfully come before a regular meeting of the council may be transacted at such special meeting. But you don't have all the members here.
Okay.
So otherwise, you would have been able to.
Okay.
Can I finish? Charter 8.9 allow the mayor to spend any amount,
In an
when it's an emergency or, necessary situation. So on behalf of the charter, I said to the mayor, go ahead and spend.
Madam Chair, I
We
don't,
will have later
Let's,
some proposal from CDBG money and if we need to from ARP. But that's
okay.
internal discussion.
Well, since it's clarified in the charter, we don't need to discuss it any further. We know that
Right,
you
you
can go
can't,
ahead
the
and do
council
that.
can't do it.
Okay, at this time, any other comments from
hold on,
council
Madam
members?
Chair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do have some comments if,
I also just want to add on to one more thing.
Sure.
So I have got a couple of phone calls and I've reached out to the ordinance department and I let them know that, I believe I saw Councilman Muscat there as well on there are people that are repairing their car, they're basically running a business out of their driveway repairing cars in the middle of the neighborhood. Yeah, this just, we can't allow that to happen. It's not okay. When I'm being bombarded with phone calls and they're not, pleasant phone calls and it's saying, how is the city not doing anything about this? I want you guys to know I did reach out to the director. There are some things right now that we need to keep into consideration as well. My old neighbor as well, who's cleaning out her basement, and I want to bring this up, was cleaning out her basement, got a citation because her garbage bins were visible. People are cleaning out their basements right now. People are not done. People are not finished cleaning out their basements. You're still going to have a lot more debris in the next couple of weeks. I myself haven't taken out the drywall in my basement. I'm going to have that garbage in front of my house. So I think when it comes to ordinance, something like seeing somebody repairing, some random cars with no doors in the middle of a driveway, that's something that needs to be issued a ticket or a citation. I think the person that has a visible garbage bin right now in the next couple of weeks, I don't think that's something we should be going after. So if maybe we can reach out to ordinance and let them know, because my neighbor was upset. I believe I reached out to our director, Lee Gavin, and I let him know. I said, this isn't okay. And I reached out to Bill as well, the director, and said, we can't chase somebody after seeing a garbage bin in front of their house right now. One, garbage bins haven't been picked up. Two, people's basements are still being flooded. It's easier to just open up a side door and put it right in front of the garbage bin. So those are just my final comments. Thank you.
Okay,
Madam
thanks.
Chair.
Councilman Abdul Haq.
Actually, there is in our email, city email, some gentleman, he sent 7 or 8 addresses where they have rats, they have grass, they have old cars, they have all kind of things sitting there in front of one house. He said there is a car sitting with flat tires for the last 2 years. And if we look at our emails less than a week, you will see his name and you will see how many addresses he provided to us. And he's citing even the codes, the ordinances by number, which are being violated. I mean, the guy done his homework, and I think we should do our homework too by sending the ordinance department or whoever, to check on those things.
I did forward it to the ordinance director.
Thank you, David. And I think it is our duty, Mayor, at least to check those. We don't have, to take his word as is, but at least we send somebody to check these allegations or these complaints.
I think Councilman Abdullah said he
Well,
forwarded.
I did forward it to them, but the only thing we gotta keep in mind, sometimes what's happening, and that's why we gotta be careful here on the city council. Sometimes we're starting to we're giving the implications, like it's almost implying like we should be the first place that people stop, and that's the problem. Because, so if somebody's got a problem, like let's say hypothetically with a car, what's starting to happen, I've noticed in the council, like year after year after year, and it's starting to get more and more and more, where it's coming to us as the first stop to complain about a neighbor or about somebody that's not following the ordinances. And the problem with that is when we start handling it, they don't go to the ordinance department anymore, and the ordinance department doesn't even know about it.
Apparently, this guy
He said for 2 years he's been trying.
For 2 years, he has been trying and calling.
Yeah, and that's different. So I forwarded it to the director. At the end of the day, that's something that's on, the director.
I don't want to blame anybody, but at least we owe it to this person who made the complaint publicly to us that we sent somebody to check those addresses.
Council Chair?
Councilman Muscat.
This has been a pet peeve of mine for a number of years, not just for 2, 4, 6. It's been 10 years, 15 years or more, on how the city looks, the cleanliness. And again, we have to look at ourselves as homeowners, that we've got to take care of our homes, okay? And yes, some people just abuse the ordinances. We got, same people over and over again having used car lots at their homes. We know about them. We've reported them. Sometimes it's in the court systems, and sometimes it doesn't make the court systems, okay? I was with Mo yesterday. We traveled the city. We saw these things. We saw a vehicle with no doors on it. It's got the scribbling all over the windshield. Car gets dropped off by a flatbed, gets pushed up in the driveway. Why does that even happen in a city? It's just unbelievable. And a lot of times, and when I talk to people, neighbors are afraid to say something. They don't want to make enemies of their neighbors, or they're afraid of retaliation. So a lot of times I just take it upon myself to do the reporting, okay? Because I want my city to stay clean. I want it to stay beautiful, okay? And there's no need to have this kind of businesses in residential areas. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did have lady called me several times, and I reached out to Mrs. Hernandez and to the ordinance department that she think even her neighbor is selling dope out of their house, and they have apparently police were looking for the guy who's in the house, and he plays the music at 12 o'clock at night, loud music, and she's so afraid to come forward and say anything. So she reached out to me, and I reached out to the police. Sometimes, if they don't make a complaint, I don't know if we can make the complaint. Something has to be done about things like that. We have to handle them. We cannot ignore it because somebody is so afraid for, well-being to come forward. We can handle it in a gentle way and smart way, I think.
Thank you. Any further comments? Public announcements is next. Anybody here with public announcements for the
Council
city?
Chair.
Oh, go ahead, Mayor.
Okay, so there's few things happened the last few days. We have FEMA and SBA. They're actually at the Caroline Kennedy Library. So for small businesses, they can actually come in, they fill out for a small loan. Or if you're a homeowner and you're renting a home and there was a flood damage from the first flood, you can also come in and you can apply for a small interest loan as well. If you're a renter and you lost some of your belongings, you can also apply for a small business loan as well, for a small interest loan. So FEMA is already, they're on the ground. There's two FEMA teams right now. There's a FEMA team that is based at the library, and that team is actually doing boots on the ground. They're visiting residents, and they're visiting residents based on the list that we provided from the self-assessment forms, which are available on our website, also at the mayor's office. So make sure, if you haven't done so, fill out the flood assessment form so FEMA can actually come and visit you, or they can talk to you. And also at the same time, you can, if you haven't done so, you can still come to the library 5 days a week, Monday through Friday as of right now, and the team at the library will help you fill out the form, and or they can actually file a claim for you. So you can go by, there's the numbers are advertised. You can call a toll-free number. You can go online, fill the claim, or you can come here in person, and FEMA will help you fill out the claim form. Or if you fill out a form and if you fill out the claim and you have issues, you can still come and talk to the FEMA team at the library, and they will answer your questions. If you have a claim number, they'll go in there and they'll look up the claim to see if there's an issue with your claim. There's another FEMA team, myself and Emergency Manager Lee Gavin. We actually were on the ground with them on Sunday. They're touring different sites in our city and various cities. They want to set up a flood disaster recovery center. And this is where they actually have a center where any resident, they can come in to them that were affected by the first flood we had. And they'll make sure, again, they'll go through the forms. So the FEMA team from the Caroline Kennedy and the SBA team will move to the flood disaster recovery center, and they'll make sure they'll address any questions that the residents have, make sure they fill out a claim or anything they need from the flood that happened several weeks ago. So we haven't established the recovery center yet. When they do, hopefully the next day or two, they're going to announce it. When they announce it, I'll let the council and the residents know in our daily briefs that we have, that we post on our city Facebook and also our website. So again, make sure you fill out the assessment forms. That's very critical. So Saturday, make sure if you have vehicles on the street and you have flood items still on the sidewalk, make sure you move your car or your vehicle and put it in the driveway, because this trash will be picked up on Saturday from 7 to 3 p.m. So make sure from 7 to 3 p.m. no vehicles are on the street if you have any debris on your sidewalk. And we're going to talk to our chief also, if you can probably post that on our police website. Make sure we get all the streets cleared so the trash haulers can come in and they can get the city cleaned up on Saturday. And that's pretty much all I have for today. Thank you.
Okay, public announcements.
Mayor and Council, just a few reminders to our residents in regards to which garbage items they cannot put outside to be picked up. So remember, no construction equipment, that would be wood, items like that. No paint, liquid paint. Make sure you go to a hardware store and you can buy some hardener, and that will harden the paint. That's why you see the paint sometimes scattered down the street when it leaks out of the trucks. No toilets. We've been seeing more people are doing home modernization, so the ceramic toilets and that are not accepted, and hazard materials. So that's just from GFL, just a reminder to limit that stuff. And just piggybacking on what the mayor said, they're going to come out Saturday, do one final drive-through. We just asked our residents, if you were missed Saturday and you've got something left Monday, please call the mayor's office, email, call, so we can do, keep a list of that. Company's going to go up and down the street, but they're not familiar with the city. There might be a curve, a court that gets missed. So we just ask the residents, don't panic. If you get missed, let us know and we'll find a way to get that picked up. That should be it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. First, I'd like to remind everybody about the picnic we've got tomorrow for the seniors at the Warren Valley Golf Course. So please be there 10 to 2, and we're going to have a blast. I've got entertainment you guys haven't seen in a while. I think I always say that, but really I do. And coming up next week on the 28th is our 50 Amp Feuds concert in the park, and I do have some extra flyers back here, so if you'd like to pick them up, that would be great. On the other side, we actually have the list of activities. We have a lot of family, kids activities, free face painting, free kids games that my staff is going to do, and also we're going to have the fire truck there to squirt the kids at 6:30, so that is going to be a really good time. This is actually the event that we moved from the 1st to the 28th because of the flooding. Next we have, and I have a flyer back there for this, we have on August 6th the Toppermost Beatles Tribute Band, and we have a Firefly drone show at Warren Valley. So that starts at 6:30, and the drone show is approximately at 9:40 p.m., and it's spectacular. If you've not seen one, we actually have a company in Detroit, and I worked out a really good deal with them because I picked an odd ball day, which the 6th is, because they're not going to be out of state doing another show. So we're going to add some other activities with this, but this is going to be an exciting night because nobody in our area has had a flying drone show. Now, what is a flying drone show, right? Google it and look them up. They're called Firefly, and it's amazing. You'll see it, Firefly Drone Show. It's going to be a great night. Then August 26th, we have the Teddy Petty and the Refugees Band. I've got a couple extra things that I'm going to put with this for families, but this is at Warren Valley too. So we've got 3 exciting concerts coming up. Unfortunately, I had to move one, so they're all grouped together, which I didn't intentionally plan out, but we can't tell when the weather's going to be like we've been having all this rain, right? Garage sale we've got on August 14th, so if anybody wants to rent a booth or a spot, we still have spots available. And then we're trying a new event on Saturday, September 18th. We have a harvest and a craft sale. And we actually have tied in and made a senior trip out of that, and we've got lots of entertainment all day. Years ago, you guys probably don't remember this, maybe you do, we used to have parades when I first started here for the first 10 years. And I pulled out an old parade file, started going through it, and we ended up getting one of the groups that people loved, which was the unicycles riders. So they're actually coming to our event on the 18th, and it should be a lot of fun to watch. So you're going to see a lot of people riding around with a one-wheeled bike. So that's what we've got coming up, and hope to see you guys there. And now I'm starting to sound like Mike, right?
Madam Chair.
Anyway, hope to see you there, guys. And if you have any questions,
have a
I do
question
have
for
additional
her.
flyers back here too.
Councilman Abdul Haq would like to ask you a question.
Hi. Do we pay any money to Warren Valley when we use the land?
Actually, we do not, or we haven't, but I have worked out a deal with him that, in the area where the adults are going to be with the drinking, he actually gets all the proceeds from any of the drinking, which is going to be way separate from the kids' area. So we've got it all situated where we're going to have food trucks, we're going to have activities way over in the other section for the kids. We're blocking off half of it for the golfing parking, and then if I have to, not if I have to, I'm going to set it up because everybody's telling me we're going to have lots of people. I can't really tell you if we are or not. I'm hoping we do because Dearborn Heights has never really done this before. So with the busing that we have, I'm going to set up 2 buses to shuttle people back and forth to either Canfield Center or Berwyn Center for additional parking if, we need to be.
The food trucks, they do pay some kind of fee?
I'm sorry?
The food trucks, do they pay some kind of fee?
Yes, they do, yes.
Who gets that fee?
Well, actually, my sponsor does, because he had sponsored the drone show.
Okay.
And he gave me a pretty large amount of money. So I offered him in turn the proceeds, which isn't a whole lot, but it's something to recoup some of his costs.
Whoever,
So-
who, she, we thank him very much for it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Whoever it is, we thank him.
Yes,
He
well,
or
I
she.
can tell you, it's elite sports, it's on the flyer, and I really appreciate what he's doing for the community. So he and I are actually working together, I'm helping him with his facilities, and he's actually been assisting me in some of the, looking at some of the fields that have actually been underwater a lot, and helping me to figure out what we can do to make them better at a lower cost, because we have so many projects. Our money with the Parks and Rec Department is spread so thin that, you know, I have to watch and prioritize how it goes out. So, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for everything you're doing.
Okay, any other public comments?
Hi, everyone. First of all, I had a question for Councilman Baydun. Do you have the specific address of that street that hasn't been picked up with the trash and Oriental Road?
Privately. Give it privately.
You can send it to me later. I just want to make sure that it is on our list and we don't miss it. I also wanted to, again, remind everyone that still needs help with taking trash out to do it before Saturday, and to reach out to one of the two organizations that we're working with in order to help senior citizens and anybody that needs help clearing those items out from the basement. So the first one is Samaritan's Purse, and the phone number is 313-407-4436. And the second one, as you're aware, is the Wayne County, and you can just dial 211, so they can help anybody that still needs assistance clearing those items up. I also want to remind the public that COVID cases are going back up. Today at our Wayne County, this week at our Wayne County meeting, they did point out that Dearborn Heights was the second highest on COVID cases. So please remember to stay safe if you haven't been vaccinated. And have a great night, everyone. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. On behalf of the Cultural Commission, I just want to remind everyone that on the 25th, we're going to have the movie night at the Caroline Kennedy Center at 9 p.m. It's the documentary Crip Camp, which is celebrating the Disability Pride Month and the 31 years of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So it is a free event if anyone wants to come out.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So say we call the number 313-407-4436. We call them, we ask them to come out and help out a senior citizen. And say they can't come out before Saturday, what do we do?
I think at that point, the mayor would have to see if more trash still appears at the city and if we need to do another round of pickups. If not, hopefully GFL will be able to pick
I
up
can
the
get you an
necessary
address, by the way,
trash.
because somebody does need assistance in their basement to remove trash. So if we can,
They would have to call the organizations themselves.
Yeah.
I can try to facilitate that conversation, but I don't know specifically what they need.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. At this time, any more public announcements? Okay. At this point, we open it up to public comment. There is a limit of 2 minutes, and I'm getting my timer up. It keeps timing out. Okay, seeing none. Do I hear a motion to end the meeting?
Chair? I
Councilman?
move City Council adjourn the meeting.
Support.
Support. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting is adjourned.